Last year, there was a particular day in Mr. Kemp's math class when Andrew was passing back our test papers. I look over to my friend Peng. She puts her head down on the table and puts out a loud sigh. This is it. I don't think colleges are going to accept me now. Why? I asked. She goes, I got a 92%. That's an A minus, not an A. How is Harvard going to accept me? How come I didn't get an A? And how come Tarn gets an A when I studied harder? Every one of us has experienced the sinking feeling of getting a paper back that did not match what we felt we put into it. Every student in the world is familiar with the wave of shame that washes over them when there is a perceived mismatch between their qualitative efforts and the quantitative analysis of these efforts. I'm sure that I'm not the only one getting this nauseous gut feeling whenever a bee pops up. But why? Why is it that we get these feelings? It's like we're aliens. The rest of the world rolls their eyes when we sigh about not getting an A. I know people in the West who call it an Asian fail. A quick Google image search for Asian dad will reveal hundreds of thousands of images just like this. Every single person in this room is familiar with this image and the pressure it represents. But how accurate is it really? Why does it seem that so much of the world seems to think that ethnicity is the deciding factor of academic success? First, there's something we all need to know. People of all ethnic groups, all cultures, are all born with roughly the same hardware if born to healthy, well-nourished mothers. There is no difference in intelligence at birth. Differences in academic performance or standardized testing arise later, with the influence of culture and other external factors, such as socioeconomic status and geographic location. However, according to The Economist, Asian Americans have more bachelor degrees than Caucasian Americans, African Americans, and Latinos. In terms of household income, Indian Americans earn approximately $90,000 compared to the median, which is $50,000. Iranian, Lebanese, and Chinese Americans are also top earners. According to Professor Amy Chua of Yale Law School, this is because each of these groups are members of what she terms the Asian species. This racial stereotype declaring Asians to be somehow superior to the rest of the human race has been attacked by many, yet it persists as a stereotype in popular culture in the form of the Asian dad and the tiger mom. But what is really behind this Asian invasion in terms of academic success? Well, to understand the dynamics, let's take a trip back to China during the Xia dynasty. Meet Cai Yun. He's in his 40s. Cai Yun works 14 hours each day, yet he still reads and educates himself whenever he can. The way he sees it, passing the imperial exam means that he no longer needs to work under the heat of the sun. He will bring honor to his family. He will bring grace to his family. He will be successful. The imperial exam instilled a hunger for achievement, not only in China, but also in other Confucian-influenced countries in Asia, such as China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Singapore, and even Thailand. For 2,000 years, working hard and educating oneself became a norm for these hardworking cultures. It was once said by Emperor Renzong that to enrich your family, there is no need to buy good land, for books hold 1,000 measures of grain. I guess that's why when Family Guy cracks Asian jokes, they tend to be about males with really small, slanted eyes doing fast calculations or studying to become doctors. Son, you can be anything you want after an engineer. Or, daughter, you want the credit card for your birthday. Oh, too bad you get the library card instead. These jokes tend to be offensive because stating the fact that certain groups perform better than others can be racially controversial. However, what is ironic about these jokes is that they don't apply to Asians specifically and really never have. As it turns out, the greatest factor determining academic success is not whether or not you are Asian or Caucasian or African or a member of any group, but rather the degree to which you are motivated to seek academic success. As it turns out, these stereotypes do not affect only to Asians, but also to immigrant cultures of all types. Children of immigrants tend to perform better than the children of natives. It's not the Asian parents that expect more of their children, but almost all parents do. According to Marina Ashad, an economist at Dalhousie University, immigrant Asian parents are 9 times more likely to push their child toward a university degree compared to a native Asian parent. Many of us sitting here in this room right now, the children and grandchildren of Chinese immigrants who came to Thailand feeling unrest in China, can empathize with this. This happens because each child of an immigrant family finds themselves stretched between 2 worlds. They cannot return to their old world and must instead push forward into the new world they may or may not have. In their new society, people are oftentimes pushing the children of immigrants aside and ignoring them because they can't speak the language or don't really understand the culture. This gives them and other new arrivals some sense of insecurity, a drive to prove others wrong. In their new society, people are oftentimes pushing them aside, as we all know. Now, a study conducted in 2012 concluded that Asian American students perform no better academically than the control group of native students. This shows once again that self-motivation is the key to academic success. I think it's incorrect to equate culture with success. Professor Ellen Wu of Indiana University suggested that there was a danger in offering culture as a formula for success, because our ideas of culture are hardly fixed. Groups rise and fall over time. So what do we really need for success? According to the researchers at the Yale School of Management, what it really takes is a strong internal drive for success. Amy Rezesniewski found in her research following 10,000 West Point cadets over a decade that self-motivation or intrinsic motivation drove people forward. To reach our own pinnacle of success, all we need are 3 things: self-control, insecurity, and a bit of obnoxiousness. With self-control, you must be able to resist the temptation to check that line notification from your friend, or that temptation to take a selfie on Snapchat. With self-control, you do that all over again. And with a sprinkle of obnoxiousness, you look over your shoulder and you do this. That's the attitude you need. You must believe that you are superior enough to get that 2,400 on the SAT. Or since the SAT scoring is changing again, the top score of 1,600. Your Asian genetics don't give you A's, but the droplets of sweat on their brow, they do. Thank you.